It's a dark episode for February the 12th, 2024. And I listened to a couple of things today. One was about there being no free will. And it's kind of the idea that we are all the product of our environments and that anything we do can really be traced back to all the stuff that, you know, affects how we developed. Right from, I think, the fetus, I mean, on an individual level of your development of, like, what kind of nutrition your mother had, how much stress she's under, and then when you're alive, when you're actually born, of, like, your frontal cortex, like how well it grows by the amount of stress it's under, which is very much affected by your socioeconomic state, you know, much less, fetal alcohol syndrome, what sort of supports you had as a child, bazillion things that can lead you to be, Harvard graduate, or somebody addicted to drugs, pulling B&Es all the time to feed a habit, that rewarding or saying one person is better than another is nonsensical, in the sense of, like, one person isn't a better person than the other. The You're just a product of what you've done. So there's the kind of the whole thing of a meritocracy is sort of bullshit, but also the sort of thing of punishing people for their behavior, saying you're a bad person who made a bad decision is also invalid, which, and, making the point that, people with, like, dyslexia at one point were punished and kind of made to feel bad about themselves. But now it's just like, no, that's just a condition and we need to support them and all that stuff. And there's a lot of other stuff that we make moral judgments about now, which are fairly nonsensical to make moral judgments on. And I mean, we very much live in a world where, even though there's kind of motions made towards rehabilitation and helping people who are convicted of crimes, really we're in the punishment business of, we're going to lock you up and actually punish you, and not make you actually a better person, actually probably make you a worse person and more of a drain on our system and more of a threat to other people in the system, because we're on this very kind of moralistic kick, which is like, how I'm relating that at the moment is I have been reading, like, someone like Mary Henrietta Manley, and it travels in West Africa, and saying, like, wow, there's a lot of ways she is a very cool, interesting person, but she's also comes loaded with a lot of racism and colonialism and, probably just self-hating sexism. It's like, how do you kind of square that? Like, do you make a moral judgment against this person, or are you simply going with, they were a person of their time, which some people dismiss as, well, no, there were exceptions of the time, that people that had different beliefs and stuff like that. And but then again, like, what if she was running around today and still had those beliefs? Would I be as accommodating because I'm someone who's had one kind of background, but maybe she had a different background? I mean, it gets into this kind of weird, you know, we do you live in a world where you have morality, where you believe that some things are right and some things are wrong, and that you don't hurt people, and that you try and treat people decently? Or do you live in a world where it's like, nope, people can do what they want, and it's all a matter of the circumstances, and maybe that's just a rationalization for, staying within your lane. It's odd. It's an interesting thought, even though I don't know exactly how you square that free will with no free will, with being a person and at least feeling like you make decisions in your own life. Um, and if there's no free will, what's sort of the point of self-expression? Is my self-expression just surely something that's determined that has made me a self-reflexive person who who questions stuff and thinks about things? Is that just merely me being another product of my environment, of someone who lives in this digital age? So I make videos and talk to myself all the time and try and figure things out, or which I also do in journal form, but I would have probably strictly done in journal form, you know, a decade or two before this. Yeah, well, that's all sophistry, I guess, or stuff to think about. One of the two. So I'm going to gather up the barking Havanese. Come on, up we go, and get the laundry too. All right, more videos later.